proudly welcome back Tony Abboud to the program. And anyway, he's the executive director of VTA, Vapor Technology Association. They're at the forefront of defending the vape industry. And you might say, well, Hannity, why do you care about this? Well, we've seen you on TV, you vape. I'm like, okay, guilty as charged. Probably not the healthiest thing that I do in my life, but you know what? I do it. So, or I chew Nicorette. I do that too. And I kind of go back and forth between the two. And anyway, long story short is I gave up smoking cigars, many, many years ago. I was smoking way too many of them. And the same with when I was a kid, I smoked cigarettes when I was 11 and 12 in a restaurant. It's ridiculous. But it was a different time. My parents smoked. My sisters at the time all smoked. They, ended up all giving it up, as did I. I gave it up when I was 20. I never really liked how to smell, but I don't know why. I like a very low, I use two different vapes, one that has no nicotine at all, and one that has nicotine, just a very low 0.3%. And however, I believe in freedom. And this is an ongoing discussion that we have had, that the party of joy and the party of freedom would take away and tax you to death on the issue of choosing to vape or not vape. I would not recommend smoking. I would not recommend drinking in excess. Our friend Tony Abboud is back. And Tony, great to have you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Sean. Thanks for having me on the program. I appreciate it very much.
I'm not recommending anybody get nicotine patches or Nicorette gum or vaping, or I'm not recommending any of that for anybody. But there are zero nicotine vapes. I have one that's a menthol. It's actually very, very good. But a lot of these, if I lived in New York, I wouldn't even be able to buy it there.
Right. That's true. Well, look, this administration is doing everything in its power to take away your freedom to vape, and as well as every American's freedom to choose flavored vapes or any other flavored nicotine product that I know, and the FDA knows is dramatically less harmful than smoking cigarettes. What this really amounts to, Sean, is I view this as an attack on working people. I mean, who are the people that smoke? People with low incomes now, struggling from paycheck to paycheck, not people on Wall Street, people who work in the trades, not in Silicon Valley. But this administration is literally ripping these vape products, which are the least expensive and the most effective smoking cessation tool, out of the hands of everyday hardworking Americans. And as you noted earlier, they're trying to tax them out of existence also. I mean, shouldn't we want a tax on less harmful products to be lower than the taxes on cigarettes? This is not about public health anymore. This is about restricting personal freedoms and trying to convince Americans that they should quit everything, which isn't a realistic public policy, and it's not good for the people themselves.
Oh, I mean, this is part of a pattern. They claim that they're doing this, all out of our best interest, but none of this is in our best interest, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, Sean, the hypocrisy on nicotine goes beyond anything that you and I have seen in our lifetime. The same people who are pushing legalized marijuana are the same people that are trying to ban flavored vapes and other nicotine products from the market.
By the way, how bizarre is that? I mean, because especially marijuana, I mean, look, I know there are some people that use it and I guess can be high-performing, functioning adults, but that's not the average person that I've experienced in my life. A lot of people that I know they end up wasting their lives away. And it does lead, I have found it to be, in my own personal experience, and there are mixed studies on it, and I don't want to get into a study versus study debate.
Right.
But in my view, it is a gateway drug, and once you like getting high, you're going to keep getting high.
Well, there's no question that it has a psychoactive impact on the person that does impact kind of how they perform. But nicotine, as you've experienced, is by comparison relatively benign. But these, again, are the same people who are advocating for flavored cannabis gummies, but they refuse to even let adults choose a flavored vaping product, which can help them quit smoking. They're also the same folks that are using taxpayer funds to give people tools such as free needles to continue using heroin, but they want to tax out of existence e-cigarettes, the tool that people are using to quit smoking. None of this makes any sense, and this is where Americans can smell hypocrisy. very, very quickly. And even with fentanyl, Sean, I mean, taxpayer-funded campaigns right in New York City telling people it's okay to use fentanyl as long as they use it safely. But this administration's FDA has refused to tell Americans they should even try using an e-cigarette, and they have to quit everything altogether. I mean, that's just not real policy. It's not real science, and it demonstrates a desire to get rid of all things that are related to nicotine. They just don't.
You can get addicted to anything. I mean, there's an epidemic now that is emerging in the country that people don't talk about, and that is, online betting. I mean, you could literally be in a casino in your own home 24 hours a day, for most people, depending on what the state law is, and it's most states. You could be sports betting all day long too. I'm not against people doing it. I believe in the liberty and freedom to do it, but it is leading to an epidemic of addiction that I don't think we're paying enough attention to.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that the key here is when you think about where this discussion has gone. In 2019, the FDA tried to convince President Trump to ban flavored e-cigarettes, saying that it would protect kids. But he did something a lot smarter, if you remember. He chose to raise the age to 21 to buy any tobacco product. And since that decision, guess what? Youth vaping in this country has plummeted. In fact, the numbers just came out again yesterday. Youth vaping year over year is down another 25% and down 71% since President Trump made that bold move when he was being told, he has to get rid of flavored vaping. We can't trust Americans in making the correct choice. I mean, that's a huge victory and one that we were proud to be a part of. But unfortunately, since he left office, the bureaucrats at FDA, they've revved up their ban e-cigarettes machinery, and they're doing everything in their power to deny access in the marketplace. And they're doing everything they can right now. This is the scary part, to shut down the 13,000 small businesses that President Trump saved in 2019. And the way they're doing it is even more concerning. They're going into mom and pop shops, Sean, finding one flavored vape on the shelf and issuing a first-time fine of $20,000 on a small business. I mean, the administration cannot pretend it's trying to bolster small businesses in this country when its agents are taking them down every day.
It really is amazing. Well, we appreciate you talking about the issue of liberty and freedom from the Freedom and Joy Party that is anything but the Freedom and Joy Party. But of course, we can't question them because they won't do an interview, a gaggle, a press conference, anything. They won't talk to anybody. Tony Abboud, thank you, my friend. 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. Listen, I want to speak